Superman Man of Tomorrow #1 feels like a classic traditional Superman story, and I mean that in the best way. You got a superpowered villain doing something for his own self-gain, which also puts innocent lives in danger, making Clark Kent have to change into Superman so he can find a way to stop him. All while Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen try to get the big story on it for the Daily Planet. Yeah, it's pretty basic stuff, but it's all executed very, very well if you ask me. One of the reasons being that Superman here is about as Superman can get. His whole character is set up perfectly in just the first 2 pages with these 2 kids watching a recording of him saving lives and basically praising him for how awesome the dude is. Oh yeah, Metropolis is like an actual city full of people who look up to Superman that the guy has to look out for. That's basically what this issue is all about, and it's also shown in my favorite scene of the comic, where after the villain Parasite blacks out the entire city, the people of Metropolis are scared shitless because they all rely on the power to get around the city, keep their food and medication refrigerated, you know, stuff you wouldn't really think about needing power for. And what does Superman do to calm everyone down? Because he can't really save everybody in the city, I mean he's just one dude, even with all those superpowers, he encourages them all to help each other out while he deals with Parasite to get the main threat taken care of. Like telling those with food to give some to those who don't have any, or help lost people find their way home, and other wholesome stuff you don't see many people nowadays doing all that much. When he isn't able to save everyone all by himself, he encourages people to do what he would do and help each other out. This shit is what Superman is all about, and I love it. Even the main threat, Parasite, is portrayed as somebody that Superman needs to look out for. Parasite here is in a constant state of intense hunger and needs to feed on energy pretty much every second. Like, this guy cannot get a break. He's like a Reaper from Blade 2. He knows nothing else except for the hunger, and it's made apparent that it can be downright torturous for the guy. I legit was starting to feel sorry for him, and you don't get a flashback to see him as Rudy Jones or anything to make you feel even more sorry for him. The issue gives you just enough context and action to get you to care about him and wanting to see Superman stop and help him. And when Superman does promise to get him help, he absolutely keeps his promise by the end, even after he gets done punching him for a bit. That's not to say Parasite can't also be a fucking threat, though. I mean, look at this thick man. Spider-Verse Kingpin is almost jealous of the guy. Almost jealous. Anyway, yeah, Parasite, he's not a guy to fuck with here. Superman gets his frickin' ass handed to him by Parasite, and it's only when the big boy runs out of energy to feed on that Superman is able to get a good hit on him. Hence why he smartly flies his purple ass to the dark side of the moon in order to beat him. All in all, Parasite, he's a pretty damn good villain here, and he works for this issue. The other characters like Lois, Jimmy, and Perry are fine, I guess. They act the way you'd expect them to act, and they have their usual little side story of them trying to get the big story while Superman deals with the main threat. The only other thing I can say about them is that Lois and Clark's couple dynamic is pretty cute as it usually is. I am so glad the comics are well past the whole she doesn't know that he's Superman thing and just let her know, have them get married, and finally have a kid together. You know, until Brian Michael Bendis tried to ruin that. But yeah, as you can see here, the most interesting part of the story is the Superman plot itself, as it kinda should be. You got Superman being the inspiring symbol of hope he was created to be, and you got some sweet-ass action of him beating the hell out of a supervillain. You get the best of both worlds here, guys. Speaking of that action, art-wise, it's the best part of the book. You really do feel the punches and throws and smashes of the 2 superpowered beings just duking it out. Like I said, Superman gets his ass kicked by Parasite here. What about the rest of the art? It's fine, it gets the job done. You can kind of tell a few panels here and there were rushed, and a couple times characters' faces look a little weird. It's nowhere near bad though, it's a decent look for this issue. Like I said, the part of the comic that definitely had the most effort put into it was the action. And a few cool looking shots of Superman just lifting up a tunnel or flying or something like that. Seeing a good artist pull off a drawing of Superman just being Superman is something that'll never look dull to me. I mean, he's just too appealing of a character design to me. Speaking of character designs, I really have to fucking mention Parasite's design here, which is honestly fucking awesome. When he's low on energy, he's the sickly, skinny little dude that you feel nothing but pity for, but when he's beefed up on power, oh my god, he's this grotesque, swole-looking monster with fucking shark lips. Needless to say, his design here definitely fits the name Parasite, and it even adds to his threat level here. All in all, the art here would be just decent, but the action, a few shots of Superman, and Parasite's character design definitely bring it up a few notches for me. Overall, I really enjoyed this first issue of DC's Digital Firsts. It pretty much gives you everything you would want from a Superman comic. Superman being Superman, a cool-ass villain and threat, and an optimistic and even kind of heartwarming tone to it all with how the citizens of Metropolis see Superman and how Superman encourages them all to be the best they can be to help each other out too. The story can seem too traditional at parts, but that's really the biggest criticism I can give it. Besides, that's kind of the point of this first issue, right? All I can say is, I finally got a currently running Superman comic series that I'm invested in and want to keep on reading. The character and even everything he stands for has been kinda disrespected in one way or another recently, and if you ask me, I think all us Superman fans needed a book like this. Superman, man of fucking
tomorrow!